Hi everyone, this is Kristen from infinitehealthandhealing.com, and I'm here today to share with you some very important information about salt. There's a big difference between table salt and sea salt, and I want to make sure that you are informed so that you can make the best of it. Let's start with table salt. You see it everywhere. It's in most of your restaurants, and it's in what's in most of everyone's cabinets as well, unless you've made the switch to sea salt. But if you haven't yet, then you might want to consider it, and I'm going to tell you why. To start off with, table salt is processed, stripped of all of its natural nutrients, the trace minerals that your body needs for optimum health. Once it's processed, it is sent to supplement companies to put in whether like a iodine in their chemical plants, or there's other additives in table salt. Usually there's something called talc, which is a carcinogen. It used to be in baby powder, but we've since realized that it's carcinogenic and it causes cancer. You don't want to be putting that on your baby, but you really don't want to be putting it anywhere. Although for some reason, 2% of table salt is usually talc. Another thing that's in it is something called silica aluminum. Now, this causes neurological degeneration, and can also lead to, can play a role in mental illnesses and Alzheimer's disease. A good percentage of the elderly are malnourished and trace minerals, and it's considered normal to just lose your memory and have these types of things happen when you're aging, but it's really not normal. It's a lot of it's due to our diet, what's in our food, and what we're being deprived of. For example, these trace nutrients. Another thing that's usually in table salt is something called ferrocyanide. Now, that is like poison to the body. Anything that has any kind of cyanide, we don't want it anywhere near your food. Yet, that is still being added in table salt. Anti-caking agents, all these things are designed to try to put this table salt back together and to make it more free-flowing and make it look natural, but in fact it's not natural at all. A lot of times, well, actually all the time, table salt will actually fluctuate your blood pressure. And this has created the low sodium industry as well, because there's been so many issues with sodium, this fake sodium, table salt being put in processed foods. So there's been a lot of health issues with people having high blood pressure, and it can even lead to heart attack as well, and I'll get to more on that in just a minute. So with these processed foods, since when they try to have lower sodium amounts in it, they replace it with artificial flavors, enhancers, and usually MSG, monosodium glutamate, which is also degenerates your neurological system. It's not good stuff. It's not good stuff at all. You really don't want it around your family and friends, and it's not something you want. The MSG also can lead to heart attacks as well, especially with people that have low magnesium levels in their body, which is a very vital nutrient. You can find it in organic vegetables and sea salt. Yeah, there's the table salt stripped of all its nutrients, and it's kind of done intentionally. The companies that do this know that it's done, but it allows for their profits to rise while they're malnourishing their customers. There's a lot of people, maybe you're one of those people that get salt cravings, and you turn to, basically any processed food or a lot of chips that are just seasoned with plain salt. If you read your nutritional label and it just says salt, that means it's table salt. If it's sea salt, it will be distinguished because those that put sea salt in their products know the beneficial aspects of this. And hi, Bunny. You coming to help me with my video? Got bunnies hopping around, chickens, ducks, turkeys. It's a good old farm around here. Anyway, so yeah, people that put sea salt in their products want you to know that it's actually natural sea salt, and they'll be sure to put it on there. So if you read when you're reading your nutritional labels on the food that you buy, be sure that it says sea salt. If it doesn't, if it says salt, put it back and get the one that says sea salt. You'll be doing yourself a favor in the long run. Now, let's go to sea salt. Sea salt is not harmful. There's a lot of debates around salt being bad for you, but it's really just the table salt. And the companies that sell table salt will want to. Yeah. Got bunnies running around and it's a little hard to focus here. Maybe I should go inside next time. Alright, so sea salt. Sea salt is not harmful. It's actually required for optimum health. And it has the trace minerals that have been depleted in sea salt. And sea salt will actually create an environment in your body that will be harmful for bacteria and parasites and pathogens that will help keep you healthy and help defend you and boost your immune system as well. This is another reason why salt has been used for preserving food for so many years, because it will repel the bacteria. Some of the trace minerals in sea salt that you might not know about is selenium. Now, selenium will bind to toxic heavy metals in your body to help get them out. So again, it will help to cleanse your body. You can also put sea salt in your water to help rehydrate you too, because these trace minerals will help aid in replenishing your body and help to retain water if you are dehydrated. So another trace mineral is boron. That helps prevent osteoporosis. This is another reason why there's the rise of osteoporosis. Is there's so much table salt, and it's the opposite effect of what should be happening. It should be actually strengthening your body and preventing things like that, but table salt does the opposite. Another trace mineral that you need is chromium. Will help regulate your blood sugar levels. So if you've got diabetes or just a fluctuating blood sugar thing, anemia, sea salt is going to be very important for you. Table salt will do the opposite. Table salt will fluctuate your blood pressure and blood sugar levels, and if it's done over a long period of time, it will lead to other diseases that are more serious. So get your sea salt, no table salt. There's still people that need to switch that. That's why I'm messing up there. So sea salt, y'all, sea salt. Another thing is copper. Sea salt's a safe way to get the trace amount of copper that your body needs for optimum health as well. If you've got clogged arteries, copper will actually help to rebuild new arteries to make sure that your blood is circulating at optimum level. Now, if I did mention that in small quantities that your blood pressure can be lowered with sea salt? That is true. It can actually lower your blood pressure with sea salt. Now, it's the opposite of what you usually hear. You usually hear that salt will raise your blood pressure. That's table salt. That's table salt. When you take table salt, that's what's fluctuating your blood pressure, because it's not supposed to do that. Table salt is not a complete food. It's not a whole food. It's been stripped and added in other things. It's not natural. That's going to mess with your body, not sea salt. Sea salt will help lower your blood pressure. So that's a myth that I want to bust right there. The thing is, though, if you want to stabilize your blood pressure with sea salt, you must eliminate all table salt. Otherwise, it will just kind of cancel each other out. If you have both, that's better than just table salt. If you need to gradually go to sea salt, that's better, because it can help cancel out the bad effects of table salt. Another thing that this whole salt epidemic craziness that's around this subject is with obesity. A lot of people that are obese are malnourished, and you see the salt issue can play a big role in it too. If you don't have sea salt in your like natural salt in your system, then, which is where a lot of our trace minerals come from, then that can play a big role in it. A lot of obese people are malnourished, so it can even help regulate your whole system just by switching to sea salt. Now, I want to make sure that I cover everything. I've got a little notepad here to make sure that you are informed with all the good stuff. Something you need to know about when you're switching to sea salt. There are fakes out there. Don't be fooled. Know your stuff. Something that you can use to, like a gauge to know the difference, is the color of it. If you see a bottle of sea salt and it's pure white, chances are it's not natural. No sea salt is pure white. No. That's not how things work in nature. So that's a good key right there. And the reason this is because the trace minerals that you're looking for, they actually create an off-white color, like a grayish color. So whenever you're getting to buy sea salt, be sure that it's off-white or grayish or even pink. The famous Himalayan pink salt is good too. And the color just changes depending on where it originates from. Let's see, what else here do we need to know about? Most of the major retailers will sell mineral depleted sea salt. There are a lot of label regulations in the FDA, and there's a lot of the companies that produce table salt have started to catch on to the health awareness wave that is coming through our world, and they're trying to save their profits. And a lot of times that's all what it's about usually in those big corporations, is profits, and they'll continue. So they've jumped on the bandwagon to the animals around here crack me up. So these companies try to sell sea salt too, to retain as much profit as they can, but in fact they're not doing it the right way. It becomes about saving money and cutting corners, and that's not the kind of sea salt you want to buy. Those will still have anti-caking agents and other additives in it. That pure white sea salt, that's not what you want. That's from the companies, big corporations, just looking to make more money. So no. So with this labeling, the FDA mandates that all salt without iodine added iodine, salt's supposed to have iodine in it naturally anyway. But since there's been so much table salt, the FDA has come up with this thing where, that if someone company tries to sell salt without having added chemical, added like a laboratory made iodine in their chemical plants, then they require that company to label it as such and say this salt does not supply iodine, a necessary nutrient. Now this is on some table salt, but also with sea salt. The sea salt distributors, they're required to lie, basically. And their product is unadulterated. It already has iodine in it. So if you see sea salt and it looks off-white and it's got all the key things that you're looking for, but it says it doesn't supply iodine, don't pay any attention to that. That's part of the missing integrity in the healthcare system and the food system. They're both very very widely linked. There'll be another video about that soon to come, so keep your eyes open for that. But sea salt, unadulterated sea salt, natural sea salt, actually has more iodine in it than the table salt that has been added with man-made and inorganic artificial iodine. A few other things that I want to talk about before the end of this video is that there are people with iodine deficiencies. If you're one of these people, then sea salt might not be enough for you, and you might need to get rid of some of the things that caused the deficiency in the first place. Things from like exposure to fluoride, toxic exposure in your water and other places. If you are drinking a lot of soda, for example, then good chances are that the water in that soda has already been treated with fluoride. So you're going to want to switch to as much natural and organic products as possible. Eliminate all processed foods, all of it. There are ways to come up with some tasty treats, so get creative there, and a lot of times once you discover how to do that, you're not going to go back. So get rid of the toxic, fluoride, get rid of the root causes of why there's any deficiencies in the first place, and then add your sea salt to it, and chances are your body will balance out. These are the things that I wanted to talk about with salt. It's so important. Salt is the salt of life, you know. So anyway, until next time, this is Kristen from Infinite Health and Healing. Go check out my Facebook page and like it for more tips and tricks on staying healthy the natural way, alternatives to healing your body, and subscribe to my channel. Peace out.